It is an honor bestowed upon many governors across the nation, both Democrat and Republican, the right to give a commencement address. Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia has that honor at George Mason University, but today student protesters gather on campus to try to stop it. Katie Barlow was there with more on why many students are upset. Katie?
Well, of the about 36,000, almost 36,000 students enrolled here at George Mason University, about 100 of them gathered on campus, urging University President Greg Washington to cancel Glenn Youngkin's commencement speech. They've also started a petition online that, last we checked, had over 6,000 signatures. For 2 hours, students were singing, shouting, waving transgender pride flags, and protesting Governor Glenn Youngkin and his policies on transgender students.
And are pushing these bills that are harming the students and, frankly, just people in general. How can this trans attempted suicide rate nationwide be 50%? Because of these policies.
Youngkin released model policies for Virginia's public schools last September that rolled back some protections for students and centered parents in decision-making. The policies require students to use facilities that correspond with their sex assigned at birth and parent permission for students to use another name or pronoun in the classroom.
We're not against Glenn Youngkin because he's a Republican. We're against Glenn Youngkin because he's against us. And we don't think that the amount of money that we pay to go to the school, the safe harbor we find here, gets to have this person come in for the politics of it all.
Youngkin supporters were also here peacefully supporting the governor, at times shouting down the protesters.
Counter-protesting because I think that this is an overreaction.
Every time a Democrat comes to speak on campus, we don't hear anything about it, right? No one protests. But anytime it's a Republican, everyone goes up in flames, right? And it's a commencement speech. We're not even holding a rally, so it's not even going to be that political.
Youngkin will join a long line of Virginia governors who have spoken here on campus, including Tim Kaine, Terry McAuliffe, and Ralph Northam. FIRE, the civil liberties group that fights to protect campus speech and tracks attempts to disinvite speakers on college campuses, supports the student protests, but said calls for GMU to disinvite Youngkin are calls for censorship, antithetical to students' intellectual development and GMU's mission to embrace a multitude of people and ideas. Students say the protests will continue, but the administration is sticking with their selection, and Governor Glenn Youngkin says he looks forward to addressing the graduates. Back to you guys.